Welcome back to Building Wars. I'm Dulcie Horowitz.
Brianna Garcia.
And we're here for a very interesting matchup tonight.
This is going to be a tough one.
I don't know how this is going to go down.
I don't either.
Tonight we've got Diagon Alley versus the Bladerunner streetscape.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just jump into it and see how it goes.
Yeah.
Diagon Alley, of course, from the J.K. Rowling's books and movies,
Yes.
right? Designed by Stephanie McMillan, I believe, 1997. It takes place in England.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, we've got Bladerunner, which is a streetscape supposedly from Los Angeles,
Mm-hmm.
but from the movie that was made in 1982.
Yes.
Completely different times, completely different styles. I'm really not sure how this one's going to go.
I'm not either.
I've got fandom for both. So
I do too.
Round one, Materiality.
Diagon Alley for me, it's a lot of mixtures of
Okay.
materiality.
Okay.
You have lots of thin steel, like detailed
Sure.
mullions.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the Blade Runner side, you have like beefy, more grounded compression, like gritty concrete.
Correct.
Stone, heavy. Where I do think on the Diagon Alley side, it's a little bit lighter. Each do it well.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's interesting if you think about it in terms of what they're trying to achieve. The materiality for Diagon Alley is spot on. I think it achieves it really well. It has a greater amount of texture, a certain amount of fantasy and fantasticalness to it.
Yes.
You know?
Texture is really where it's at. They got
But
bricks.
similarly, when you look at Blade Runner, it establishes the mood. Everything
Yes.
that you said, the boulders, the rain, the kind of darkness, the grittiness of the streetscape.
Yes.
The materials speak directly to that. I gotta tell you, I think this one's a dead heat for me on materiality. If that's an option, we might have to go to the judges later. How do you fall?
I don't want to do the tie thing.
Oh, don't do it then.
I'm going to have to go with Diagon Alley. Only,
Ooh.
I know, because the layering of it
Okay.
and the diversity of materials for me, I give it to Diagon Alley.
All right. I would say conversely, though, that there's a lot of stuff going on in Blade Runner as well.
I get it.
But I understand. You
I
can
get
cast
it.
your vote however you'd like to cast your vote. All right, on to round two, Ornamentation. Let me start off and say that I think that Blade Runner in this situation, the ornamentation of those columns / boulders that they put in a lot of those scenes is so otherworldly. The jump in scale
Yes.
on the ornamentation, I think, is brilliant.
Yes.
And for that alone, the ornamentation on the Diagon Alley is superb, and it's detailed, and it's textured and varied.
Yes.
But the creative license they took with the ornamentation in Blade Runner makes it a clear winner for me.
So, for me, I would say the ornamentation in Diagon Alley is a little tiny bit more typical than the Blade Runner. I feel like you don't see that anywhere else.
Correct.
It is very, very unique. I give it to Blade Runner for this one.
Oh, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. On this one, it goes to Blade Runner. Okay, so round three, light.
Oh,
Again, ladies and gentlemen, a really difficult matchup here. Blade Runner is almost more about the absence of light or the glowing, constrained quality of light.
I would say both do depth very well. I would say the lighting in Blade Runner is at night with all of the neon, the whole Japanese tiny alleyways where it's like
In your
almost
face.
a lot, almost like it's its own ornamentation and texture is how they use the lighting.
Exactly, I would agree 100%.
But Diagon Alley for me has a little bit more mystery to it. It's always what I kind of gravitate to. Both day and night, I do think Diagon Alley kind of kills it for me.
I would agree that Diagon Alley has corners that things disappear around
Yes.
and light escapes around.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to do the thing you don't like, Brianna. I'm gonna have to say this one's a tie for me as well. I know. That's fine. That's fine. I have a feeling it's gonna go your way anyway because I'm the one that's making a tie. But go ahead.
I give it to Diagon. I think
do?
it kills it
All
day
right.
and night, so I'm
All
going
right,
with that.
there we go. Okay, round 4, Spatial Qualities. Oh, this is actually really, really tough.
It's very tough.
If we're sticking just to the streetscape, I gotta give this one a Diagon Alley. They twisted a version of that storefront. The sectional quality
There's a
between
lot of
the tall
warpy.
buildings, there's a lot of warpy.
Yes.
There's a lot of constrained, tall sectional.
Yes.
Varied different things happening, where I feel like the streetscape in Blade Runner is more consistent. The thresholds to the buildings, to be sure, have this wonderful, compressed, big boulder column
Yes.
thing happening, but there's more varied and more different streetscape spaces happening along Diagon Alley.
Let me throw something into the ring here that doesn't seem to be being considered, but Blade Runner's space is also meant to be experienced in a hover car as well.
Well, how do you think that that would change things?
The sublime is experienced when you're looking over the entire city.
I guess if you're looking at it mid-level of a skyscraper, it is a different look as far as proportions. I mean, which is why I kind of like Diagon Alley, is because it's a different type of streetscape proportion that
It's
I know
made
I already
more
like.
for pedestrian. But what I think he's talking to actually is the difference between a more ancient European streetscape
Yes.
and one that is more in the modern era, that's more about the automobile, or in this case, the hovercraft, which unfortunately for me is a point against Blade Runner, because it makes the actual sectional quality of the space less interesting, because you can get more interesting spaces when it's pedestrian oriented. So I'm going to give this one to Diagon Alley. I think we've got to vote off screen for Blade Runner on this one.
I know, because mine goes to Diagon Alley.
Oh, all right. Well, then there it goes. And to the final round, storytelling. Let me just jump in on this and say the storytelling for Blade Runner, I believe, is off the charts. I think that, and I have to say, I don't think it's Diagon's fault. I just think that because they take more creative license, the lighting, the actual ornamentation, the creativity of the ornamentation tells its own character. Well, Diagon Alley is as well.
It does.
And its twistedness. But just because of the uniqueness and the creative qualities and the juxtaposition of what was perceived of as an Asian culture at that time with a futuristic idea, the storytelling of Blade Runner, it has to
Yes.
world build.
Yes. Yes. I mean, I also agree with all those things. Diagon Alley does have a story. It works great. There's a lot of magic in Diagon Alley, for sure. But I do think that when it comes to looking at the streetscape, Blade Runner, really, you know exactly what type of, like, city they're trying to portray Los Angeles as. You can, I mean, it does the gritty so well.
Yes, it does.
It really, really speaks to, like, what it's like to live there. I mean, I would give it also to Blade Runner for storytelling. As far as looking at streetscapes alone, I think Blade Runner, it's its own character. It really is.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. I think this one has to go to the judges.
I'm a little nervous.
I'm pretty sure it's Diagon.
Don't.
And Blade Runner has 5.5 points, ladies and gentlemen. I am surprised,
Oh, man.
but I have to tell you, I'm actually excited about that.
I'm very surprised.
Fierce competition.
Harry Potter fans don't hate me, but
Yes, fierce competition.
a win is a win.
A win is a win, a W is a W, and I have to say Blade Runner pulls it out on this one. There it is for Building Wars, ladies and gentlemen. Got kind of tense tonight. Some pretty fierce competition out there. Both competitors completely worthy. Solid. This is one of those Clash of the Titan ones where really there clearly isn't a loser, but in this case, there was a winner, and it was Blade Runner tonight.
It.
That's it for Building Wars tonight. We'll see you again.